What's up, guys? Now, there's a lot going around Khabib Nurmagomedov these days, and first thing I gotta take note is, wow, is the lightweight division such a mess now, from the suspension that he was given, from all the people that are trying to call him out, from the potential contenders that are coming his way. The top of the lightweight division has been clogged up, and we don't know who's the contender to fight Khabib. So GSP, Dustin Poirier, Tony Ferguson, Conor McGregor, Max Holloway, Khabib being suspended and probably won't fight for another 9 months. I mean, what is going on with this division? So, if you don't know, Khabib Nurmagomedov was suspended 9 months, retroactive from his October 6th UFC 229 fight with Conor McGregor, which means he should be able to come back by July 6th of this year. And he was fined $500,000, which is absolutely egregious, I believe. I mean, you got federal crimes and big-time frauds that don't get fined that much. And Luke Thomas pointed out something really interesting about the California State Athletic Commission. For an identical offense, they will only charge about like $5,000, $2,500 for the offense, $2,500 for bringing damage to the sport, and they could charge more only in doping cases, which could be up to 40% of the purse. So that just shows how crazy this $500,000 fine. We're talking about the same people who fined Conor McGregor for throwing water bottles and Monster Energy cans $150,000 just off the bat. You know, we'll fine you $150,000 just because you did that, and you make a lot of money, so you could probably bring us some. And once Conor made his case, they won't fight in Nevada ever again, and they were just a joke for doing that. Then Nevada was like, oh, okay, we'll put it down $75,000. Oh, no, okay, we'll put it on $25,000, which I still think is a little bit much. But Khabib getting fined $500,000 is absolutely ridiculous. I think he should get suspended and probably fined more than Conor McGregor, but the fine is absolutely horrendous. You've never seen a fine like that in this sport. And he didn't hurt anybody. He jumped at Dylan Dennis. People will keep saying, oh, but look what could have happened. What could have happened? Forget what could have happened. You gotta look at what actually did happen. You gotta look at it with the evidence. What actually did happen. Yeah, it could have caused a scene, but it didn't cause a riot or whatever everybody was worried about. So you gotta find him reasonably, looking at the evidence and all that sort of stuff. Nobody got hurt. The brawl outside the cage ended within seconds and all that sort of stuff. So you have that. So he's gonna be suspended for 9 months. And the Nevada State Athletic Commission did give him an option to reduce the suspension to 6 months if he takes an anti-bullying campaign, this PSA thing. And it looks like Khabib is turning it down. I know Dana White said in the UFC 235 press conference that Khabib will take the anti-bullying campaign offer, but now it seems like Khabib is not going to do it. It seems like he took a little bit of offense to the option because he doesn't believe he is a bully, right? He thinks that he was bullied and he just stood up to the bully. Conor McGregor saying all the things he did, attack the bus, all that sort of stuff. And usually people who take part in these anti-bullying campaigns and do these speeches and all that sort of stuff, go around schools and say bullying is bad, they're usually people that have been bullies or had some part in bullying before. And at the very least, if he does take this offer, it makes it seem like he was at fault for being the bully in this situation that he was in. So I 100% understand why he turned it down. It looked like Khabib took so much of an offense to their offer that he actually went after the state in a statement where he said, the state of Nevada is a place where they allow drugs, prostitution, and gambling. So these are the things that are against Khabib's morals, right? So he sees the state of Nevada immorally, I guess, with the things that they promote and the things that go on over there. I don't think it was the best statement to make, but it just shows he was frustrated by the offer, and especially because of who was offering him this anti-bullying thing, you know, he probably feels disrespected by it. And another thing is, he has Ramadan starting again May 5th and it ends on June 4th. So if he does take the PSA, let's just say for argument's sake, he's going to be able to fight by April, but then he has to wait after June and he could potentially fight in the fall or something. So he could have some fights lined up for him pretty well. But the biggest thing that Khabib said is he's not going to fight until his teammates' suspensions are up. And his teammates, Zubair Tukhugov and Abubakar Nurmagomedov, they each got suspended 1 year. They also got fined $25,000 each, which Khabib is actually going to pay himself. I mean, you gotta commend Khabib for being so loyal to his teammates and all the money he's spending just for this whole thing, and the fact that he's gonna wait out for their suspensions. You gotta give him some respect for that, personally, in my opinion. But this leaves Khabib to be out of competition until at least October 6th of this year. So potentially we're not going to be seeing Khabib fight for another year since his last fight. Because of this, Khabib actually did call out St Pierre for November at Madison Square Garden. Now, this leaves a mess. This leaves a giant mess because he's calling out GSP, and actually GSP has come out and said that he has been lobbying. He's actually asking for the Khabib fight. He's actually been trying to get it to come together. behind the scenes, I guess. And that is the preferred fight he wants. He wants nobody else right now besides Khabib. He wants to be the first guy to take the O away. He wants to be the first guy to beat Khabib and get 3 belts. He's just looking for all these accomplishments until he calls it a career. So it's a good move for GSP, but now Khabib wants that fight as well. And if you throw in GSP at the top of the lightweight division now, what is going on now? What's going to go on with Tony Ferguson? What's going to happen to Dustin Poirier? What's going to happen with Conor McGregor? What's going to happen with Max Holloway if he comes up to lightweight? I mean, you have just caused a logjam at the top, and nobody knows what's going on. And Khabib says since he's going to be out for such a long time, he predicts that there's going to be an interim belt, an interim title fight, and he thinks it might be between Tony Ferguson and Dustin Poirier. And the winner of that fight he'll eventually face. But Tony Ferguson has come out and said that he will fight Max Holloway. That's actually a fight if he doesn't get Khabib or Conor. I think he said Conor. I'm not 100% sure. But if he doesn't get Khabib, he will be very much willing to fight Max Holloway because of the stylistic matchup. I mean, let's be honest here. Tony Ferguson versus Max Holloway is a dream fight. I mean, that is a fight you rarely will ever see in your lifetime. I think everybody will love to see that one. I mean, you got 2 guys with high volume, great striking, good grappling, good wrestling, similar in height. Tony Ferguson, of course, with a big reach advantage, and their cardio is never ending. The biggest thing is that cardio combined with their output and their toughness. That makes for potentially one of the greatest fights of all time. But I believe, and I think most do, that Tony Ferguson deserves that title shot. How many times does he have to win to eventually get it? Yeah, you got an interim title shot, but that's not the undisputed title. That's not the champion, right? He's been winning consistently. I mean, the last 2 or 3 fights, he didn't even need to have those. Those weren't necessary for him to get a title shot, right? He deserved it a while ago, and he still has to take another fight to get there because of all the madness is going on with the champions of this division. If Tony Ferguson, let's say, fights Max Holloway, where does Dustin Poirier go now? What about him? He also deserves a title shot. Not over Tony Ferguson, but if Tony was excluded from this division, the next guy is Dustin Poirier. So what does he do now? Who does he fight? And people want Conor McGregor. A lot of the casual fans want to see a rematch with Conor McGregor for some reason. To be honest, he has to have another fight. The Donald Cerrone fight is probably the one that makes sense. Max Holloway also makes sense for Conor McGregor. And now you have GSP thrown in there. And if GSP does come down to 155, you best believe that's the fight they're going to make. I mean, it's the biggest money fight. GSP is a big draw. Khabib is now most likely a draw. And it's a fight between 2 of the greatest of all time. And if Khabib beats GSP, you can say Khabib is the greatest of all time. If GSP beats Khabib, it cements him even further as the greatest of all time. He puts the bar so high, it's almost unreachable. And because of that, there's a lot of stakes on the line, a lot of money to be made. A lot of fans are going to be curious about that fight. A lot of fans are going to watch that fight. Casual fans, hardcore fans, everybody will be involved. And let's be honest, that fight is very attracting. I mean, you got 2 of the greatest MMA wrestlers of all time. Very different styles, though. You got GSP, who's really good with the blast double leg. He shoots in very explosively. Whereas Khabib, he will shoot, but then he'll chain wrestle, right? His chain wrestling is really what gets people down, right? He pushes up against the cage, all that sort of stuff. He doesn't rely too much on timing, but he just forces his will on his opponents. He's just so pressuring. He creates openings himself, and he exploits those. Where GSP finds your opening and blasts right through it with impeccable timing. So, very different kind of wrestlers, but it makes for a very exciting fight. The striking, I think, will go to GSP overall. He has a background in striking. He's going to be a little bit bigger than Khabib as well, I believe. He has a longer reach as well. He has probably the best jab in the game. Khabib has a good jab himself, but I think he'll get out-jabbed by GSP for the most part. The fight will most likely go to the ground eventually, though. And that is an aspect of the game. It just leaves fans foaming at the mouth to witness, right? But I need to see the Tony Ferguson fight. That is the fight that brings everything back into order. There is no order in this division anymore until you have that fight with Khabib and Tony Ferguson. That is the clear-cut #1 contender versus the rightful champion. And anything else is more of a spectacle. It's more of a super fight that creates a bigger logjam at the top. If you have Max Holloway or something, anything but Tony Ferguson, it doesn't really bring order to this division. So just madness right now. Absolute madness in the lightweight division. If you thought the lightweight division was a mess before, another tornado hit and it scrambled everything around again. And when Khabib makes his return, who knows what the state of the lightweight division is going to be then, because there's going to be matchups that are going to be made. We're going to get contenders to fight each other, and when their champion returns, the entire landscape of the division may change as well. And when you just thrust in GSP at the end of it, after all of these fighters, after all these contenders have even furthered their claim to a title shot, it creates even a bigger mess. And yeah, man, it's just a little bit frustrating for hardcore fans, and the Nevada State Athletic Commission has not helped anything out with all of this. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you enjoyed my content, make sure to subscribe. Leave a comment below what you guys think about this whole thing. There's a lot of craziness going on, and I'm just wondering what your take is on it as well. And I am working on my Nightmare matchup video. I might make a post-fight reaction video of tonight's fights, and I'm going to have a breakdown of one of the fights. So be looking for all that. And again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.